Okay, we are going to get started now. Welcome everyone, good afternoon. My name is Tom Bull, and I'm the Alumni Director of the Portland State Alumni Association. And I just got to tell you, tonight's event is about celebrating success. And tonight's event, we have more than 370 people in this room today. So I just want to say, let's give ourselves a round of applause for that. And speaking of success, we have a special performance for you right now. Who's joining me is the Portland State Chamber Choir. This group is the first American choir under the direction of Ethan Sperry to win the grand prize in the competition in Italy. They recently returned from a sold-out tour in Spain. Please help me welcome Portland State Chamber Choir.
Thanks for having us. Just on behalf of the faculty, I want to say to everybody that is here that's supporting a scholarship student, it's so important. It's just endlessly valuable, and I know many of the students up here on stage that you're sitting with wouldn't be at college if it weren't for you, and it makes a huge difference, so thank you. We're going to sing a short African-American spiritual. It's called The Battle of Jericho, and it's one of my favorite spirituals because it talks about how a battle could be won through the power of music rather than through the force of arms.
Joshua fit the battle, it's the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle, it's the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. The battle of Jericho. The battle of Jericho. The battle of Jericho. The battle of Joshua. The battle of Joshua fit the battle, it's the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle, it's the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. 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 The battle of Jericho. The battle of Joshua. The battle of Joshua fit the battle. The battle of Jericho, Joshua fit the battle, the battle of Jericho.
Talk about your kings of Gideon.
Go on, you can talk about
your men of Saul.
Go on, yes, you can talk about it.
Good old Joshua at the battle of Jericho.
That morning, Joshua.
The battle of Jericho. 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 The battle of Jericho.
The battle of Joshua. The battle of Joshua fit the battle, the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho.
Right up to the walls of Jericho.
Jericho.
He marched with spear in hand.
Oh, that morning, Joshua.
Right upon Joshua cried.
Was the battle and in my hand. God Almighty.
Then the loud and sheep horn begins to blow. And the trumpet begins to sound.
Shout, and the walls come a-tumbling down. Lord, you know that Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. The walls come a-tumbling down. Oh Lord, you know that Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle, yes, the battle of Jericho. The walls come tumbling
And also, they say quotations. They sing general and basic. It's not. That's the quotient. It's very simple. 70% of the students.
One more round of applause for our chorus.
They just sing to
Now it is my honor to introduce President of the University, President Vin Vavell. Just a short something about him. He arrived 6 years ago. He had a bold vision for our university, and since then, his team has been great in turning this university around, turning that vision into a reality. Portland State is nationally ranked in many categories, and the one that I always mention is the number 3 most hipster university because of the president. Please join me in welcoming President Vavell.
Thank you very much, Dan. I once was at an event at a club in Amsterdam where they did this thing where it was a Chicago group that was doing comedy there, and they asked everybody to stand up who was there And then they said, okay, everybody who has ridden a motorcycle in the last 2 weeks, please sit down. Everybody who has smoked any dope in the last 2 weeks, sit down. And they went through a bunch of questions like that. And at the end of 10 questions, I was the only guy still standing up. And they said, you are the most unhip person in this room. So no, indeed, it's not due to me, Tom, that this is the number 3 hipster college. But that aside, what a performance by our chamber choir. And I was just thinking as I was seeing Ethan Sperry directing them, conducting them, if I could just have Ethan conduct this whole university, we'd be in such great shape. Really wonderful. And they really are an example of the kind of excellence that Portland State produces, attracts, and produces on a daily basis. And they just show that and model that. And, you know, that's what we've been working on for the last, 68 years that the university has been around now, to become truly a leading urban research university that models excellence, but does it in a way that is inclusive, that provides access to excellence, that doesn't do it by just excluding the people who may have had more troubles, who may have had to struggle to get here. And we have many high achievers at the university who maybe, a couple of years before they got here, whether they were in high school or middle school or even their first few years in university or a community college, might not have looked like they were going to be high flyers because they had personal challenges, family challenges, financial challenges, whatever it may have been. And as you know, the financial piece is, of course, what we're celebrating in some part today because of the scholarship support that you provide. But many of you know that the money is, yes, it's an essential ingredient, but it's not sufficient. That it's also about that personal connection that so many of you create with our student, that makes them feel motivated, that makes them feel, as one of our students said the other day, that makes them feel that they're being seen by somebody, that somebody actually sees them as a person and sees that potential in them. And that award that you make, that we make to them, is a symbol of that. Those of you in this room who have received a scholarship know that it is a recognition of the fact that we feel, that somebody felt that you have something special to offer. Something to offer to this institution, but ultimately something to offer to this city, this region, and society. And those of you who have donated so generously, of course, know that you are truly changing lives every day because of what you have done and what you continue to do. And one example of that today that I want to give is a corporation, Intel. We know them, we love them. They're the largest employer of PSU alums. They provided $130,000 for returning students who may have had degrees in any number of fields to come back and get a degree in computer science so that they can actually contribute to this great need that we have in this state to have more trained computer science engineers. We have with us, I'm not quite sure which table they're at, Vice President Maury Whalen. Would you stand up when I mention you? Thank you very much. Brad Benson, Annie Jones, Kim Girardi, and also thanks to Katie Regan, who's worked with them to make this happen. Thank you very much. Another person we want to recognize is Tom Winterroad. Tom, where are you sitting? I saw you earlier here today. There we go. A PSU graduate who started his own business and then sold it, and like any good Portlander would do with the proceeds, went on an 8-month bicycle trip through Europe. And that changed his life. Obviously, I'm a strong believer in the value of study abroad. That's how I wound up here. I know how it can change your life and how it truly deepens who you are. So Tom established the Endowed Scholarship for overseas travel and study, and no doubt the students who will be the beneficiaries of his generosity will have their own life-changing experience. So please give another round of applause for Tom. Your generosity produces results every day to provide more access, to make sure that those students that come here can actually stay and complete and get out with a degree. And we know that that creates a better society, both economically, socially, culturally, in terms of health, on every single front. And we know that challenge has become greater. We know that the legislature, certainly since I came, I don't think it's totally my fault, but has not exactly been kind to us. Last year, that tide has begun to change, and we look forward to a very productive session in 2015, where, as you've probably heard me say before, we look to restore the cuts. We're just asking for them to restore the cuts that they've made since the 2007-2009 biennium. That's in a way how modest our request is, and that would help us to continue to provide excellence to the students, because we can't just make the students pay for it all, because you know that's what's happened, that the students are now paying for the majority of it, and too many of them are therefore excluded even from access, or they start here and then they can't continue. And I now want to introduce one of our students who will speak to you, who has that kind of a story. Carla Andrade, who came close to missing out on a college education. She started at PSU, but found it tough. So she returned to her hometown of Klamath Falls to attend community college. But then she came back here and got on track, good grades, studying communications, but she still was afraid she wouldn't be able to finish because of the cost. Then we were able to give her an equal access scholarship, some other help that made it happen, and she's going to graduate next year. Please welcome Carla Andrade.
Good evening, everyone. It is wonderful to be here and be able to share my story with you all and let you know how important it's been for me to have scholarships and my time here at Portland State University. As President Vivell mentioned, I'm a proud Oregonian born and raised in Klamath Falls and a graduate of Mazama High School with another fellow graduate from Klamath Falls, Shema. After graduating, I knew I wanted to come and study at PSU because it would be a new beginning in a big city. But I also knew that it was going to be difficult for me to pay for the tuition, for the books, and the other expenses. Being born of Salvadorian immigrant parents, who I am thankful to say are tremendously hardworking, we realized that paying for college just wasn't an option for them. It was too much. Thankfully, though, I got 2 scholarships from the Klamath Falls community, and I moved to Portland to study communications at PSU in September of 2010. But when my scholarships expired at the end of my freshman year in 2011, I had to move back home to Klamath Falls, where I attended the local community college for a year and a half, and I started saving money while working part-time at a Mexican restaurant. But I was determined to come back to PSU and finish my degree. So when I returned to Portland in January of 2013, I had saved enough money to support myself through the fall of 2013. So when winter quarter 2014 came around, I started writing scholarship essays. And I was determined and motivated to get financial aid for my senior year so I could complete my degree at PSU. So I applied for the diversity scholarship and the equal access scholarships with high hopes because I had poured my heart and soul into those essays. And it wasn't until a month later I found out that I hadn't received either of those scholarships. And I was devastated. I was so bummed. I was like, what am I going to do now? I have faced so many obstacles, but I've gone through them. And I remembered something that my parents told me, which was never give up. So I decided to go to the Diversity and Inclusion office, and I let them know of my situation. And I told them that if I didn't get an equal access scholarship, that I probably wasn't going to be able to finish my senior year at PSU. And thankfully, they listened and they granted me the scholarship. But I'm so happy about it. And after that, more good news started coming. So they informed me that I had been accepted into the Ganas program. Also, and the Ganas program, it's a year-long mentor program designed to help new Latina and Latino students transition from high school into PSU. And with that, we're also granted a scholarship for both the mentors and the mentees. And after that, another great opportunity came to me. I was later named one of 22 Latinas chosen from across the country to participate in a leadership program in Washington, D.C. And I didn't have the money to participate in that program. And again, the Diversity and Inclusion Office was there, and with their help, I was able to go. And that's why I'm so appreciative of the donors at PSU, because it's because of your generosity and your kindness that I could finish school. And after I graduate in May, I look forward to starting my career, expanding my role at Lara Media Services, a marketing agency here in Portland, and I will strive to make my dream of working with Univision a reality one day, very soon. And I am forever grateful for the opportunities and resources that PSU has provided me with. And this support has allowed me to continue my studies and represent our university locally and nationally. But I am also thankful for the individuals and families that take the time to give back to our institution, because your help makes all the difference in the life of a hardworking student. Thank you. I would also like to introduce our next speakers. So as you know, Portland is home to many innovative companies. And Pizzicato is an example of an organization that gives back. The company recently established a scholarship to assist employees who are enrolled at Portland State. This new pilot program will support up to 10 students during the academic year. We are grateful for Pizza's generous and creative approach to supporting students. Please join me in welcoming and thanking Tracy Frankel, President, and Felix Ripple, CEO of Pizzicato Pizza.
Good evening, everyone. It's really an honor to be here among all the generous and forward-thinking donors that sit in these chairs, and to bear witness to the incredible students at PSU, how ambitious they are, what incredible goals they are, and how hardworking they are. Pizzicato is celebrating a milestone this year, which, in relation to perhaps other companies around town, is not that big of a deal, but to us it is. On December 10th, 1989, we opened the first Pizzicato Pizza. And if some of you longtime Portlanders remember, it was at the Sylvan exit off Highway 26. We had no idea that Pizzicato would become what it has become today. And to mark our 25th anniversary, we collaborated with the staff at PSU to develop a scholarship that would specifically benefit our employees. Our employees, well, we started with 3 in 1989, and now we have nearly 300. Our employees are the backbone of our restaurant, the backbone of our company, the face that we present to customers, and truthfully, the people that do all the hard work. This scholarship is a way for us as a company, me as an individual, to express our gratitude for all their years of hard work and dedication and loyalty to the company. And the philosophy with which we developed this scholarship is that real gratitude is based on giving and not expecting a return. So my goal in this scholarship is for our employees to be successful, not just at their work, but in their lives. And for however long we're fortunate enough to have these employees in our employ, it gives me nothing less than the greatest joy to see them succeed as they go on to their next and their next and their next careers. So it's, again, I say, it's truly an honor to be here. And now I'd like to invite Felix to the microphone to share a few of his thoughts.
Hi. It's funny, I talk for a living, and just the sheer like coming back to school thing makes me completely nervous again. I'm sitting down here shaking, going, oh, I'm like, what are you doing, man? You do this all the time. This is what you do. Thanks, Tracy, though. So let me just begin by saying how excited we are to partner with PSU. It's a school that is so much a heart of what Portland is. It's literally in the heart of the city. And it's a city that has been so kind and awesome to us, and it's just so cool to be able to partner with you guys. I never thought that this was going to happen, and somehow it did, and I'm really happy about that. You know, my favorite aspect of this donation is that it came from a strong belief in kind of a holistic and humanistic approach to running a business. And the scholarship really sprang from the idea that as responsible business people, we must nurture and mentor all aspects of our employees. I think there's a tendency sometimes to mentor and nurture the aspect that is going to serve the company best, and that's really not within our belief system. So it really came from a bigger thought. You know, you may say that this is counterintuitive to running a business, because basically what we're encouraging our employees to do is to educate themselves out of our employ. But just to be frank with you, we're more interested in seeing our Pizzicato family continue to grow as people, as professionals, as careerists, and members of our community than we are about the other side of things. You know, I think for a lot of our staff, a lot of line level staff, that's their first, second, or third jobs, and they're in a really odd, kind of awkward portion of their life where they've graduated high school, but they haven't quite figured out what the next step is. And we have a lot of those people within our ranks, and a lot of what this scholarship's about is saying, hey, here's an option. And we're not dictating that this is the only option, but we really, really want to support you in following your passion. And if your passion is science or biology or research or accounting or human resources or whatever it might be, what our job is as responsible employers is to help clear that path for them and to make it an easier path to get them where they need to be. And you know, I hope that they all choose to become food and beverage professionals, because I don't want any of them to leave, because we have amazing staff. Honestly though, it's my genuine hope that one day we can recruit from our ranks the next wave of leaders that will lead the charge at the corporate and management level in order. I would love to find myself standing right here in 25 years talking about another 25 years and to have partnered with PSU and had it been a reciprocal relationship. I just think that would be really lovely. So again, I feel really honored to embark on this endeavor. It's a new thing for us. I think it's going to be a huge success, and I really, really stand proud in being a part of this. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy and Felix. Okay, it's my job now to introduce Françoise Almé, who is the CEO and president of the foundation. Françoise arrived here about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years or so. Under her leadership, the culture of support has really grown. And something that I'm always proud of, I'm always out there promoting alumni and students and faculty and who we are as a university. So it's really pleasing that in 2010, when Françoise arrived, alumni was given $2.6 million. Well, 2014, alumni are now given $13.9 million. So that's a huge jump. So Françoise, please join us. Françoise earlier this year successfully merged the University Advancement and PSU Foundation, and we are now ready to the next level. We're ready to move to that next level. So welcome, Françoise, please.
I have the best staff, and I did not script him. I wanted to talk a little bit about being hip. So maybe the president, maybe he became hip as he matured. But I know our students are hip. I know our faculty is hip, but what I really know is our donors are hip. And they are really cool people, not only because they have passion, but in the way they convey their passion, in the way they work with us, staff, to make a difference. So I think hipster is good. I think it works for us, and it makes us really special. So tonight, there's a lot to celebrate about. We have to celebrate the success in fundraising that we have had over the last 4 years, thanks to you. But fundraising is not just about the numbers. Fundraising is really about the impact of giving. And this is why we are here tonight. We are here because in this room tonight, every one of you is either a recipient of a scholarship or a donor supporting a student by giving a scholarship. Actually, some of you are both. Want to raise your hand if you're both? Okay. So, when it comes to scholarships, we know what a difference it makes. We know that it transforms life. In 2012, in July 2012, we decided that there was a huge need to increase the number of scholarships awarded at PSU, and we started a small campaign, a $50 million campaign that was supposed to end in December 2015. The response has been overwhelming and inspiring for us and for our students. Many, many of you have responded, and I'm here to share good news tonight. We are now at 44 million in 2 years. So we are at 88% of the goal. That's normally when you go public. So I engage you before you go home tonight. Let's get us to 50 million and be done with it. No. We will continue beyond 50 million. We certainly need to. Because if you look at the other universities down the road, their scholarship endowments are over 161 million. Our scholarship endowment is 20 million, which is great for us because 4 years ago it was 10 million. So we have made a difference. We have been able to increase the number of scholarships from 700 a year to 1,000 a year, and the total number of scholarships awarded from 1.5 million to 2.5 million. We really need to be able to meet the need of our 30,000 students. As Wim said, 60% of our students need financial aid. So we have a long way to go. And we really appreciate your help in helping us get there. So we didn't do this by ourselves, just staff and donors picking up the phone and telling us, hey, I would like to give a scholarship. We really got structured in doing this mini campaign, and we organized ourselves, and we created the Creating Futures campaign with a steering committee of very, very dedicated volunteers and donors. So please join me in recognizing the donors who are here tonight, the steering committee members and donors who are here tonight. So Pete Nickerson, co-chair, please stand. Karen Brown-Wilson. Scott Burns. Michael DeShane. Paul Schlesinger. And Barry Stoll. Thank you. So now, I have to tell you that within the last few months, we got 2 very big gifts totaling 7 million. And I'm going to tell you about one of them, and somebody very, very special to us. The donors were Dave and Christine Vernier. They are true philanthropists. They are over-inspiring. They give from their heart, and they give with passion. They know they are making a difference. They want to transform lives. They believe in higher education. They are the dream donors. So they started in 1981 creating Vernier software and technology out of their home. Dave was a science teacher in high school. Today, their company, headquartered in Beaverton, has over 100 employees and has been named one of the best companies to work for in Oregon over the last 14 years. To all of you who believe in talent management, they got it. They are longtime supporters of Portland State University, and of course they have a passion for science and mathematics and engineering and technology, as well as they believe in training the next generation of social workers. So their passion is broad. Their idea is that you can make a difference in your community by giving broadly. So last month, how many of you were at the Simon Benson Awards dinner? Okay. So they were recognized with the award for philanthropy, not just because they give to PSU, because they give throughout the community. Christine serves on the Portland State Governing Board of Trust as a trustee, and she says that her job there will be done when Oregon's institutional boards, university boards, will have developed a plan to make college affordable. So Dave and Christine are certainly doing their part to make an education affordable at PSU by giving to PSU, and they have made a gift of $3.6 million to support scholarships at PSU. So please help me welcome Dave Vernier to the podium.
Thank you. First of all, I'm sorry Christine can't be here. She is involved in hosting an event at our office, and it was planned long ago, so she couldn't cancel, but I wish she was here. So we're very glad that we're able to do this scholarship donation. We're dedicating it especially to first generation in the family to go to college. An interesting twist, neither Christine and I went to Portland State, and I believe that's true of the Pizzicato people, I think I heard. So the two donor speakers, none of the four of us went to Portland State, which I think is interesting. And it just shows that we value what Portland State does for the community. So anyway, our donation, a large part of it will start creating scholarships right away. There's a portion that is kind of good news and bad news for us. It will give millions of dollars in scholarship money to needy students, but unfortunately we have to die. But that's okay, we'll do it. Christine and I both went to state universities, not in this state, but they were state universities, and we had great experiences there, and it did us a tremendous amount of good. And when we went, they really were state universities. I don't think I ever heard the word student loan while I was in college. It just didn't happen. If you went to a state university and you worked a summer job, or you worked a part-time job in the evening, or got a small scholarship, you didn't need a student loan. And we feel terrible about the fact that so many students graduate now from Portland State and have this debt hanging over their head, or maybe even worse, some choose not to go to school because it's not a good gamble for them. So we really would want to see that turned around. I think our little donation here will certainly help a few students, but more importantly maybe is for all of us to talk to elected officials and try to get things restored to where they were, where a state university really is a state university supported more by the state than it is now. So I also want to thank, I know there's lots and lots of people in this room who've donated and supported scholarships, and I thank all of you.
Thank you very much, Dave. Portland State, I know all of us are very appreciative of what you do. Tracy and Felix, we want to thank you also for the work you do, as well as Intel, and I can go on and on with all the different companies that support us, our donors, alumni, faculty, staff. Thank you all for all you do for us. So before we end this, I just have a couple of announcements. The first thing is there are pins on your tables. Please feel free to take those pins with you. Those are gifts. Secondly, we're still going to have time to do more pictures up on stage there, so feel free to do that. Third, we have a basketball game going on tonight, and as you know, we beat USC last week, so feel free to go over there. So again, thank you all for everything. This event will go on to 7:30, so feel free to stick around and socialize. Thanks again for everything.